Rolling.
Okay, so we'll call the, this is a special March 19th Fisheries Committee meeting. We'll start with a roll call, starting with Selectman Gilly to my left.
Yeah, Matt Gilly, Select Board Liaison.
Allison Hawks.
Seth Walker.
Billy Saxton.
Samantha Bohan.
George Prince.
Rob Burnett.
Darcy Kuchar.
Now we'll do the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So my understanding is this meeting's been called because this lease is coming up prior to our next regularly scheduled meeting. So, is this, you currently have LPAs in this area? Is that correct?
Yeah, hang on. Just so the whole committee's aware, this is an unusual one. We don't usually get a standard lease. It's usually LPAs. So this kind of straddles, it predates the existence of the Fisheries Committee is when it all started. So that's why we're kind of jumping in the middle. So he's already gone through a pre-application meeting, a draft application, a scoping session. DMR's reviewed his stuff. It's been reviewed by Paul back in 2024. The DMR did a site visit in 2024. They issued a site report. And so we're kind of like right here at this point where the public hearing, I believe, is scheduled for April 14th. So we're much farther into the process than we normally are when we review stuff as a Fisheries Committee.
Okay. I also jumped the gun, my apologies. Stuart Ryan, that's you?
Yep.
Okay. Also, I need to announce that we have a new committee member, Rob Burnett. He will be handling pelagic issues, purse seining, gill netting, et cetera. Anything else?
Welcome.
Welcome, person. Gillnet, fish trap, going on 46 years.
Oh, are you the fish weir guy down in, you got the fish weirs down by,
That's me.
nice.
Yes.
They're on our map. I remember you now when we were making the maps.
Okay, that's me.
Thanks, Rob. Welcome to the committee. All right, so you're asking for a standard lease. I actually,
Experimental, isn't it?
Experimental, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
It's the same process. It's just that this one
Okay.
would only be 3 years and
Okay. I'm actually somewhat familiar with this spot. I've been fishing it for about 35 years. And I put my gear out sometime around April 1st, and I take it up just prior to Christmas. And I've actually seen you out there several times with no conflict. So my question is for you, are the dates the same on the lease you have now?
the LPAs.
Yes. Are the dates for your LPAs the same as they're going to be for the?
Yeah, you might
Can
go
you,
to
do
the
you mind
podium.
talking? Sorry.
If we have to be on the mic, so
Yeah.
do you.
Yeah. So the LPAs are currently November 1st to June 1st. The application has, or sorry, let me repeat myself. The LPAs are November 15th to June 1st. The application for the experimental is November 1st to June 1st. So I've, in the experimental application, I've added the whole month of November.
You're asking for 2 weeks on the front
An extra
end.
2 weeks from the LPA, what I have on the LPAs. The reason for that is basically the more kelp growing folks have done, the more research has been done on it, you get better outcomes the earlier you plant. And then also, just in my experience, as you all know, weather windows in November are fickle. And so just having more time to set up, seed, and so forth is very helpful.
Well, there hasn't been any conflict yet that I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of any.
I don't know anybody that fishes there more than I do, put it that way.
Yeah, my experience with, working there, the times that I have over the past, I guess it's coming up on, 4 years now, has been that the majority of fishing activity is happening closer to the ledges. It's in a bit of a mud hole there, so that the traps tend to be, and I think the DMR site report kind of bears this out, the traps tend to be closer to the ledges on Little Whaleboat and the ledges to the south of the the application site.
This was their review when they went to the site in August. I believe the little red dots are lobster gear that they noticed in the area.
When were they?
Yes.
This was August of 2024.
October, it looks a lot different, into November, into the whole month of November.
And
So
you're not
what-
gonna have anything there in August, are you?
In August, no.
Right.
No.
So why, I guess, do you know why DMR went and looked at it in
Well,
August?
I don't believe, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't believe DMR sends anyone out on the water.
They're fair weather people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I just wanted to hear somebody else say
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
Yeah, and I believe a couple of you were on the harbor committee meeting that I came to probably 8 months ago when Paul asked me to come in to talk about this as well. So yeah, I think some of you are familiar with this from previously. And I mean, at that, I don't know how much you want me to answer questions or how to, speak, but in that meeting, my understanding was that the consensus that we came to, and Paul wrote a letter to this effect, saying that as long as all gear was removed when the lease was not in use, including corner markers, that everyone agreed that that was acceptable, and I am very happy with that. And if there are other concerns, I'm happy to discuss those.
How have the LPAs done there?
They've been good. This year not so well, but that was a seed issue rather than a site issue. But yeah, no, the kelp has grown quite well there. There's lots of flow, and good nutrient mixing there. So
Do you pull your stuff now? When you're done with the LPAs you have there now?
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's nothing there in the off season.
You haven't had any issues with wind in the wintertime there in that spot?
Not with the gear. I mean, there's
Yeah.
plenty of days where I'm not going to.
No, I know, but the gear's been held fine there and all that.
Yeah.
You're pulling the anchors and everything when you leave?
Yeah, there's some big. They're basically really big plow anchors.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep.
And they've got like a retrieval line
Makes a big difference.
and plenty of scope. And yeah, as long as they're being pulled directionally, they hold really well.
The only other question I'd ask that we've pointed out before is, what is there for like corner markers? Are you going to use anything to kind of mark the corners of the lease?
Yeah, so it's with LPAs you mark the ends of the lines, and in a lease you mark the corners. So with an experimental lease, I would have yellow buoy corner markers with the acronym on it, but I would pull those in the summer as well. That's a bit of a funny one too, where DMR they're sometimes all over the place with telling people that they're required to leave the corner markers out or they want them pulled. I would just pull them.
I think we asked you to have them pulled, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so these guys could use the space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is there anything in here that says that you can fish within the lease area? Like,
I mean,
the reason I'm asking
Yeah.
is you've asked for a couple more weeks and say somebody was already fishing there and you came to put your gear out. Could you work around it until they moved?
I would have to think about. I think it sort of depends where. If it was like smack dab in the middle,
Right.
like multiple strings right through the middle, that would be difficult. I mean, in that scenario, I would try and find out whose it is.
I'm thinking more of
Give
an
them a call.
overlapping situation and.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would in that scenario, I would try and figure out whose gear it is and get in touch with them.
How long does it take to set up the space in, in the farm and all that, setting up the anchors and all the lines and the seed? Does it take like a few days or a few weeks?
With my current LPAs, it's like 1 day for the setup and then like a half day for the seating.
Yep.
Obviously, with the experimental, I would be expanding that and what I'm trying to do in there, so it would take longer, and I'm not exactly sure, since I haven't fully set up the expanded version of that, I'm not exactly sure how long that would take, but my guess would be, 2 to 4 days of, like, full days of total work to get it fully set up and seated.
A week, yep.
Would be my guess.
Seth?
We don't tow there.
No. I'll be honest, this was my first experience with aquaculture.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I noticed you there a couple of years in a row. The first year, I was like, wow, and then the second year. And my thinking was, lobstering and aquaculture can actually coexist in this manner, because we're removing our gear when you show up, you're leaving when we show up, and it's perfect. It's like, I don't care if you use the whole stinking bay. If nobody's there, somebody should be making money if they can, right? I mean, I have had zero issue with working around you in the past.
Yeah, I thought it
So-
was more to the southwest, but that's different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
out
had
in the
this is
mud.
the other one that was just such a,
That one's more
That's a
Not talking about
definite.
that one's
yeah,
that's
tougher.
not, that was
That's a definite.
Butterfield.
Is that
butter-
kelp?
Butterfield.
No,
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 that was
oysters.
oysters. Yeah.
But where he wants to
What?
be
It's a bold
up there,
ask.
like you said,
Nobody's using it.
Yeah, you've
Right.
seen it out there.
I mean-
what it looks like.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Nobody's there more than I
it's
am.
really out of
and
the
I'll-
way.
There was
I'll work
one
around it.
year
and
during
even
setup
in November,
where
I mean, if
what
there's
what
a
color are
couple
your traps?
Right.
George,
What color are your traps?
Green go deeps.
Yeah. Okay. There was not painted. What's the go
No, mine are just
Okay.
just green.
There was-
The
there
guy
was
that
only
blue
one
and,
setup
blue and red
where,
buoys. Yeah.
There was one setup season where somebody had their trap line like 100 feet off, but it was still there was no conflict. But that was the closest anyone's.
I honestly don't think anybody would come set down through the middle of it,
I
especially
think the only
knowing
one
that
that
you're.
would be there would maybe be the Nils.
Yeah.
Nils or the Ulrichsons finishing
Exactly.
up, taking up.
I think you, yeah. So, anyways, I'm not going to lose my mind over it.
A lot of there, November.
Well, I fish it till the 1st of December, through November.
So can we get a clarification to so the question on here about the taking stuff off season, so it says on, your answer was from June 2nd to October 31st, only anchor systems will remain on site.
Yeah. So when I first wrote the application, I wrote it to leave some anchor systems on site, and then when Paul asked me to come 8-9 months ago now to the harbor committee, and their request was not to do that, and so I'm happy to do that. So
and you can't amend the lease at that point, can you?
no, so basically what it would be, and this is sort of the letter, this is to the effect the letter that Paul wrote, is the town is requesting that as a
modification.
as a yes or a
Condition of approval.
condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And-
because with everything leaving,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, if everything leaves.
and it'll be there when guys are setting in May or whatever, and so they'll just.
Have to avoid it. Yeah, I don't.
But it's not for long.
Right. Couple days.
I don't see an issue.
I don't either. So. Everyone good?
I really think that removing the anchors is really important.
Yeah, that's
I think
key.
that's
I really
huge.
think that
I think
Whoever
that's
speaks would be really important for us to.
I'll make sure
push
to
that
go to
along.
the hearing and reaffirm that was, so I'll be at the
Okay.
public hearing and just reaffirm what you already know, that you just removed the anchors there in the off-season.
Yeah.
Hopefully DMR, because I've seen it, like you said, DMR sometimes wants you to leave them, but it clearly, I think, would work better for everyone if they were gone.
And it just shows how fishing industries can work together, you
Yep.
know? It's
it's
like-
a little communication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sign of faith.
So, Do you just want to go under public comment, Matt, to this meeting? or-
Yeah, I'll sign up. I think we can, what do you think, Darcy? That can be made more as a public comment than an intervener comment
Yep.
in it?
I think so. I don't see, since you guys are all okay, I don't think there's a need to pursue an intervener status. So
No, I
you guys
don't
just
either.
have a comment, then whatever the Fisheries Committee
Yep.
would
We'll
like
just
you to
make sure
convey.
Make the comment that.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it
You already-
harder to be,
yeah.
is it harder to be an intervener? I just hate something to come up that we weren't expecting, and then we're just like, oh, we were just gonna be a
Well,
comment.
an intervener is more you like want to stop it.
Yeah, it's a pretty hardcore position.
so it's
Yeah,
not-
and we don't want to stop it. We just want to make sure he's going to do what he said he's going to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's important to definitely get the public comment about removing the anchors, because
Yeah.
even if, like Paul's letter said it, it's good to remind them
Yep.
that we still feel the same way.
Yeah, and that way you at least know when you see that I will be my name probably.
Yeah,
As
okay.
the selectman, that I've signed up as for public comment, like that's what I'll be saying. and
Yep,
that's it.
okay, great.
good.
Yeah,
You'll
and I
be
was,
speaking for the committee then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
and I was planning on also submitting to them the letter, they already have it.
Yeah.
But I was planning on submitting that letter that says that from Paul as well.
I'm assuming you'd just soon take your anchors home anyway, right? Is that what I'm understanding, or?
Yeah, that's what I do
But
currently, and that's.
in some cases, require that they be left
Well,
behind.
they
They get
they've-
antsy about their corner markers.
They've been inconsistent about corner. It seems to be the only thing that they care about
Yeah.
is corner markers.
Even when there's no gear on the site, so that's a,
Yeah.
And that's why kelp works so good, because you have that ability, to disappear when that heavy fishing activity is happening.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, you don't want to set a string through there and get caught on the anchor.
No, absolutely.
His anchor's not expensive.
Or a
I forget the
seine
name
or
of it.
anything else.
You said it's like a,
It's a company called Tend Ocean.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
but
essentially.
you don't
just
want to get gear wrapped up
hours.
in that.
Yeah. And it gives people the ability to set a pokey net in there, not worrying about getting
Right,
wrapped up
exactly.
in an acre or something.
Do we have to sign anything on this?
nope, this is strictly like us to determine what
Yep.
Matt is going to say, representing the committee at the public comment period,
I
so.
think I got it.
Good.
Make sure
So
the
I
anchors
trust,
are gone.
I trust what Matt's gonna say,
Yep.
so. Do we need to vote that we're good with just?
I think as long as you guys are, it's a public comment. If Matt's
Yeah.
relaying it, I'm sure he'll get in trouble if he goes off script, so,
We've given you all our trust, Matt.
You have the power, Matt.
The weight is
Easy.
heavy.
He's stressing out.
I mean, you are the
April
selectman,
15th,
so
right?
Comes with
No, it's the 14th.
Which day? I was like, now I gotta check.
It's the 14th.
I know they scheduled that real fast. Too.
Yeah,
They
that was
always do.
why.
That's what kind
funny,
of gets
yeah.
us. They give you 2 weeks notice.
Well, and at first they called me and they were like, this date, and I was like, that's literally school spring break. Like my kids don't have school that week.
Can you tell me why
I'll
this
bring him,
hearing?
I'll bring him to the hearing.
Can you tell me why this hearing's in Brunswick? You're from Freeport.
Yeah.
The waters are in Harpswell.
I actually.
Why is it in Brunswick?
When I was on the phone with them, I actually asked. I was like, oh, it's not at the Harpswell town office, and
They won't
just
do
said
it
no.
here.
I don't know.
No, I guess it's something like we don't have Zoom capacity or something.
We do. We don't have the room, they say.
Whatever.
Because these are so, I don't know if you've ever been to one, but
that town line.
they're not real popular. There's usually
no,
not a lot
yeah.
of people
The
at
thing
them.
is, though, that's not true, because if we wanted to have one in town, we could go to the school.
But that's
So we haven't-
harder,
Yeah.
No, it's not.
a little
For
bit
what?
harder.
I know you are on a time crunch. Would you like to?
Oh, what time
That's
is
an
it?
administrative.
It's like 5:20. I don't want to.
I've got another
Except
5
one.
to 10 minutes, so
Okay.
I'm okay
Well,
on that for the
We don't.
Yeah, we're.
Yep.
We're out of here.
We're good to go.
I would entertain a
The
motion.
communications is a great example
Yep.
of
Yep.
coming and just working with these guys. And
And you guys are done, there's 20 minutes. So
Okay.
done.
I would
You can adjourn it.
entertain a
Somebody
motion to
can.
adjourn.
Billy,
I make a motion we adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
second.
Very good. Good luck.
Quick
All
and
right,
easy.
thanks, everybody.